All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And yeah, we're here at week 2 already. And our topic this week is navigating the internet. So, kind of a basic, but just to getting the lay of the land, your home screen is the screen that you see when you first turn on your device. It may have a standard background. You can change that background into a picture that you would prefer to look at. You can put up a picture of your family or find a stock image online that you like, maybe of a beach scape or any kind of background that you want. But you can do that through your settings under themes. Also, you'll find on your home screen for your PC and laptop are quick link icons. Those are the little icon that you double click on to open a browser window to a particular location. Common ones to have on your home screen would be if you have Word, Microsoft Word on your computer, there'll be the little W icon, Google Chrome, or whatever browser it is that you prefer, that little picture will be on your home screen, and that you double click and that takes you directly to. And you can certainly get a lot of those things on your home screen. I've seen people's home screens that are entirely filled with quick link icons. I prefer to keep mine a little more clear, but that's certainly a personal preference. But when you download items, sometimes they will download with a quick link directly on your home screen, just for quick reference. Browser tabs are the different windows that you open to access content on the internet. Some common examples of those, and like the one that we're using for our course, Google Chrome. Safari is the one that would be on Apple products. Firefox is a popular browser, and Microsoft Edge. When you have a browser tab open, you may want to keep that open and look at still something else in a new window. And if you right click on the existing tab, a new tab will open to the right of that one, keeping the first one open, but then letting you open, have another tab open at the same time. Historically, we would be talking about apps as something that is used on your phone. But more and more, they're making apps to be used on laptops and computers. Also, there's extensions, and that's when you have an existing software program, but it needs a sort of like update to make it work properly with newer devices, or if they have new programming that they've added to it. So these are things that you can download, and you get them from the appropriate store for your device. So if you have an Apple product, an iPhone, an iMac, you're going to get your apps and extensions from the Apple store. If you have an Android device, Chromebook, that will all be from the Google Play Store. And then if you have a machine that's running on Windows, you'll be getting your apps and extensions from the Microsoft Store. So you need to know which store you're going to get your proper apps and extensions. Many of these are free, although there are also plenty that have a charge to download them. So that's something that you can look up. Some apps will have a free trial, but they will ask for your credit card information, and they'll do an automatic charge. So if you do elect to try out an app, it's important to note somewhere how long your trial period is and what day you'll need to cancel it if you don't want to get a charge, if you don't want to keep the service. You could set a reminder for yourself on your phone, or just, have it written down in a place that you'll remember and see, or write it on a calendar. But yeah, you'll want to keep track of that if you do get an app that you're just trying out, but that does have a cost. Some apps that have a free option do not offer the full features on the free version, to sort of lure you into paying. They'll withhold some of the capabilities, but depending on what your needs are, the free version may work for you. So it's very personal, on who you are and what you're trying to do. But those are the stores that you go to. And you would just, you can just put that in the search bar of your browser, and you can click on it to go to the appropriate store. So if you did want to, this is sort of the process. It's very straightforward to download an app or an extension. But you would type the name into the search bar and click on the one you want. And there's sort of two processes. There's installation, the install, and then you have to click again to open it. And just two sort of points there. I have my little double exclamation points because it is important. There are sort of third party, if you will, places that you can get apps from on the internet. I would not recommend getting your apps from any of those other stores. The store that's specific to your device, be that Apple, Android, or Microsoft, the apps that are for sale or free to be downloaded from those stores, those apps have been vetted, they've been checked for malware, and they're deemed as safe as, a giant company can secure. So those are relatively good for you, to be able to download without a problem. I'm not saying that there's never been a hack, but for the most part, these are safe apps if you get them through your store. If you go to a third-party site, you don't really know if that app has been properly vetted. Something else to be aware of, sometimes you can be on a website and there'll be an ad for an app. You may have an interest in it. Go again to your store. Don't download an app from a website. This is a way that people hack computers. So you want to always get it through the store. I heard a terrible story of someone who got their whole unit hijacked and had to just erase everything and kind of start their whole device over from scratch again because they got hacked by downloading an app from a website. Always go to your proper store to download anything. Any questions so far? Okay. So searching the internet, you'll open your browser, which, as we said, Safari, Chrome, Firefox, Microsoft Edge. And from there, you can go to a search engine. One of the things that's great about Google Chrome is that it's kind of a search engine and a browser combined. When you type a query into the address bar at the top of Google Chrome, you get you get a return, and you can click and go right to the site. If you use, say, Yahoo as your search engine, you have to go down a little further on the page to type your information in. If you tried to do a search from the address bar at the top, it would just change the page that you were on, and you'd no longer be on Yahoo to search. Some other examples of search engines are Bing, DuckDuckGo, Ecosia. Google has kind of cornered the market. It's so ubiquitous, right? It's a verb. We know to Google something if we want to find out. But there are other search engines are equally valid. Ecosia is a nice search engine because it plants trees based upon your usage. So it's kind of a cool thing. But another point, if you're trying to find a piece of information and it's just not coming up, you've tried to word it a couple different ways. If you surround your query in quotation marks, as it says here, my example, ice cream is delicious, that exact wording will come up on your search. So but that will also exclude a lot of content. But if you're having trouble sort of finding out the thing that you're actually looking for, it can help to use quotation marks around your search. Search results are called hits. So that's just a sort of internet lingo. And the top hits that you'll usually see, especially on like Google searches, those are usually ads. Companies do pay to have their hit come up at the top of your search. And you'll see next to it, it says ad. So if you scroll down a little further, you'll probably get the same place, but when you click further down on the screen, they won't be making money off of your click. So just something to think about. It's supposed to give you the most relevant search results, but there is definitely money involved.
Rebecca?
Yes, please.
I Google a lot of things, and sometimes I get frustrated because of the primacy of ads, and for certain things with Google. I've never heard of Ecosia before. Is that a little bit less ad driven, or from your experience? Again, Ecosia is totally new to me.
I can't say that I know if it is less, ad driven or has less sponsorship in that way. I don't know how it would work exactly without having some tie to companies. It is a little disconcerting. I know, like you'll look something up and then the next website that you go to, all of the ads on there will be about the product that you just looked up. So they're definitely watching what you're doing, and they're trying to sell you something and make money. But
yeah, sometimes it's just harder to get the answer to what you're looking for because you're wading through all of that.
Yeah.
The ads or the sales part. That's all. As I said, I just wondered if there's any other ones, because Google is so primate. People go to that one first. Mm-hmm. Maybe the other one's better or worse. And again, I admit I pretty much use Google as my default anyways, but I'm curious.
Yeah.
I have a little insight I can offer. So I studied marketing at John Carroll, and so part of it was digital marketing and search engine optimization. And I will say that paid ads do tend to go towards Google. So I can't say for a fact that your lesser known search engines won't have the ads, but I am led to believe that they would have less ads. Yeah.
Thank you.
Interesting. All right.
I think Art might have had a question or comment.
Art, please.
It's like anything else, advertising in small newspapers or advertising in large newspapers or advertising in great geographical areas or small. The more coverage you have, the more the more people you can reach, the more advertising you're going to do. And Google, I believe, is the far and away the #1 search engine. And unfortunately, when you when you're like that, you're going to have the most ads because people, for one reason or another, like you. I think because they like other things that you can do with Google and all the add-ons that you can do on one from one screen. So I can understand why, from a marketing standpoint, they found that Google, you just have to put up with it. It's free. You know, I'd like to know a little bit more about DuckDuckGo, though. That sounds like a
Yeah, you can. That's one to check out. Something that I wanted to mention as a former, well, I used to be a page at Cleveland Public Library, but as a plug for our local libraries, librarians are masters of finding out information. And if you're having trouble finding something online of what you're looking for, your local librarian is a tremendous resource to be able to get you the accurate information that you're looking for on any given topic. At this point, that is part of their training, is how to find quality information online for people. So always, and they love to get the call and help someone, has been my experience from working in libraries. So yeah, that's a tremendous resource if you're having trouble, getting that good quality information. Jump back in here. So let's do a little bit of an activity. I want to show you how to open up a private browser window. Perhaps you are, exploring a getaway trip that you want to surprise your significant other with. And so you don't want to do your search on the main computer where they may see what you've been looking at. Well, you can open up a private browser window and you can do that search without having it saved onto your personal device. So the way to open a private browser tab is to, up in the upper right-hand corner of the screen on Google Chrome, you'll see the overflow menu. If you'll remember, that's the 3 dots, one atop the other. If you click on that, it will open a drop-down box that gives you several options. And I think it's about 3 from the top. It will say new incognito window. And if you click on that, a new screen will open that will sort of superimpose over your existing screen. It will look the same, basically, as your previous Google, but it has a little person on there with sort of like goggly eyes, and it'll say incognito mode. So when you use the private browser option, your search history, any cookies, and data are not saved to your personal device. That search history is saved by your internet service provider. Just an FYI, everything that you do on the internet can eventually be traced to you if there's enough digging done. So I wouldn't encourage anyone to, do a Google search on how to rob the bank, but as this evidence, this may be used as incriminating evidence against you. But if you want to find out some details about that special trip, or for whatever reason that you might want to go onto a private server, you can use this private browser, not server, private browser. And then up in the upper right-hand corner, all the way up in the right-hand corner, there's that little X, and you just click on that and it will close that screen and take you back to your regular screen. Did everybody try that? Do you see where I was talking about with the little overflow menu and getting the incognito screen? Did everybody try?
Yes.
Okay, great. So your search history. This helps when you use Google Chrome, it helps to sort of auto-populate for those sites that you go to frequently. If you've ever noticed when you're searching on Google, you'll type in a little bit of your search and then it'll give you a drop-down menu and it'll have several different hits that it thinks what you might be wanting to type in. And usually it'll be pretty close, especially if it's something you've looked up or gone to before. And then you can click on it without having to type it all the way out. This is because it's based on your search history. Also, it can be just popular search. So like, you know, things that are trending that other people have looked up, that it says like, well, this is in that sequence of words, this is the most searched for thing. So that's there's auto populate from your own and then from the greater collective of people doing online searches. You can go into your privacy setting through settings on Chrome, and you can delete a range of time on your search history. You can delete individual items, or you can delete everything from your search history. And that will remove it from your personal device. But do remember that your provider still has a record of your search history. So just FYI, but you can remove individual things by going through that privacy setting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is literally the most important thing that I want you to take away from our time together. This sentence: how do I fill in the blank on my fill in the other blank? So if I want to know how to set my alarm on my Galaxy S9 phone, going to Google and typing in that sentence. You know, going through our 8 weeks together, I'm not going to be able to impart to everyone how to be an absolute computer whiz and do every single thing that there is to do on the internet. I certainly don't even know how to do that, but you can find out pretty much how to do anything that it is that you want to do. And I use this all the time to find out things. I remember when I sort of first started working on a computer feeling like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to fix that on a Word document. I don't know. Just go to Google and look it up. If you don't know within 1 second of how to do something, type into Google, how do I blank on my blank? So I just want, that's how you will learn how to do whatever it is that you're trying to do in the fastest, the quickest way possible. Does anyone have any questions right now? We went through that really fast.
I have a
Oh, it looks
question
like you're talking. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
on this how-to thing. For instance, I have something on my screen. It's Microsoft privacy statement. I cannot get rid of it. It's there all the time. I can't play some of my games because it's in the way. If I go to Google, I type in, how do I get whatever it's called off of the screen, will they be able to tell me?
That's what the first thing that I would do to try. So it would be, how do I get rid of, it says a privacy notification.
At the bottom, it says Microsoft. It's all about Cortana.
Cortana.
Yeah, that seems to be the motivation in it, but it won't go away.
So I would Google search, how do I get rid of Cortana notice on my, and then what is your device?
It's a PC.
Whatever, so whatever type.
Microsoft, yeah.
Yeah. Type it in right now. Let's see what comes up.
Oh boy. Well,
Any other questions?
Well, I can't. I'm. If I do that, I can't because I'm only have it on the one. I'm using my PC to listen to you.
Okay. If you minimized the Zoom screen?
Yeah. So if I do that, if I knew what I'm doing, I could probably do it, but I would probably end up losing you and talking to China or something.
If you minimize the Zoom screen, you should be able to still have a Google screen up and ask that. It shouldn't go away.
Oh, okay.
Just minimize it.
Okay.
How do you minimize your Zoom?
Yes, ma'am. In the upper right-hand corner of the Zoom screen, there's a little X. That would be to close it. And then to the left of that, there's a line that looks almost like a hyphen.
I don't see the X.
In the very upper right-hand corner.
I have a view thing.
So look outside of the black screen that the Zoom is. There should be like sort of a white frame around it. And there's up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little X.
I don't see the white frame. It's black all the way to the edge. Because when I've left to look at my computer, then I totally lose the Zoom thing and I have to sign back in and I have all sorts of trouble.
Somehow or other, she's on a full screen.
I was just about to say, so looking at your keyboard, on the upper left-hand corner, there should be a button that says ESC.
Yeah.
Escape. Click on Escape. And does that change the view?
No, it does not. I have a Mac.
Oh.
So if you go to at the top of the Zoom screen that you have, do you have a little gear? And if you hover over it, it says settings.
No, I don't have that.
What about when it says view? What do you get when you click on view?
Yeah.
Speaker gallery full screen.
Yeah, that's where you got it. Click on full screen.
Check mark next to where it says full screen.
No.
No.
The check mark by the speaker.
Oh, try putting the check mark near gallery view.
I was just about to say that.
Sorry.
That's okay. What what happens when you go to gallery view?
I see everybody.
But does it change the appearance of your screen in any way?
No.
You don't have the white strip on top?
I have it says Zoom meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then is that like in a white strip at the top?
Yes.
All the way to the
all the way to the right on that white strip. Do you see the X now?
No, there's nothing.
You've kind of stumped me because so that is where you minimize the screen. There's a little there's an X normally, there's an X and then a little box to the
Okay,
left of
okay.
that.
There's a red thing, and then if I put my arrow where it says,
Line.
there's an X.
Okay, so go to the left, and then do you see just a line that looks almost like a hyphen?
Yes,
That's your minimize. Click on that. And then does the screen go down? But you can still hear me?
yeah, it says you've gone incognito.
So that's the minimizing, and then you could still do something on your computer. And then along the bottom of your screen, you should see the little, like the Zoom icon. It looks like a little camera inside of a blue circle. And if you
Yes.
click on that, the screen should come back up again. Did you try that, Al?
Well, I'm trying it and I've got information on how to get Cortina off, but not specifically just that statement. Maybe I'm not using the right terminology because I don't know what to call that little thing. And
A notification or
okay. If I go to the, it has one of those things that go up and down, you can move. If I go all the way to the top, it says sign into Cortana. Cortana. That's what it says there. And
it says what with Cortana?
sign in,
Sign in.
Cortana. And if you go down, it gives you a place to sign in, which I have tried to do and didn't have any success. And then the last thing it says is this Microsoft policy statement, which I've gotten onto that too, which didn't do any good.
So type in, how do I remove Cortana sign in from my home screen?
See, it's all in the wording, isn't it?
It really is.
Now I got to get back to where I was now. Oh boy. Okay, you go ahead. I'll keep trying this.
Any other questions?
Okay, I never did figure out how to get back to Zoom after I minimized. That didn't work.
Have you been able to maximize the screen again?
No, I just see you.
Hover over the square. Do you see a little green arrow?
What square?
The square that you see me on.
Oh, yes, I do.
Click on the green arrow. Did that
Ah.
expand the screen?
Yes,
Yep.
that was a key. Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's how you can, minimize the Zoom and still be able to do something else on your computer without leaving the actual session.
Okay, thank
And
you.
then you hover over to and get that green arrow, click on the green arrow, and then it will bring the whole screen back up so you can, get back in the meeting after you find whatever it was you're looking for. Zoom has been, I think, so tricky for all of us to try to suddenly have our lives on and be navigating. It's like, oh, Zoom.
I have another quick question.
Yes.
I have a Mac. Okay, how do I set the alarm on my, what do I write for a Mac?
What kind, do you know?
MacBook Air.
Okay, so how do I set the alarm on my MacBook Air? That's what you want to type in. And you should you're going to get on a question like that too. You're just going to get step-by-step instructions pop up. Go ahead and type it in and tell me what you see.
Oh, now I have to leave again. Okay.
Practice is perfect.
So I go to Chrome. And now I'm on incognito. Do I type in there?
You could, but just in the search bar along the top, if you're in Google Chrome, you can just type in your query across the top.
It has, when I go onto Chrome, since makes me go right away to incognito. Maybe I need to go back to Chrome. Let's see. Ah, yes. Okay. These things are not obvious, you know?
I think, it's sort of a matter of just getting used to doing it. And it's the key to that is the more that you practice. Did anyone else have a question that maybe I could, start on while Ms. Solomon is typing those in, or?
It worked. Thank you.
You got the instructions?
What is a launch pad? It says click on the launch pad. What is a launch pad?
On Mac, that's along the bottom of your screen. There's a bunch of different icons. If you roll your cursor different, that's your launch pad.
Okay.
So you pick whichever one is appropriate. I'm guessing that would be in settings for your clock, but it might be something different. It should say on those instructions that came up. Mac is just a little bit different than the others. Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Oh, what I have tried doing that sometimes when when I'm stuck, which is often. Quite often they'll ask me, for example, I have an iPhone. So if something I messed up on my iPhone, they'll ask me which version of an iPhone. I'm not sure about my Chromebook, but quite often I don't know. Is it something that we're supposed, as a tip, we should write down? What I'm saying? Because there's so many different versions, especially maybe of iPhones and maybe of Android phones. I don't know that, but is there any a quick way to tell? Is it something you just have to know or just guess? Like I didn't know if there were any tips for someone like me.
Yeah,
who can never remember what I have.
On your iPhone, in your settings, there should be a place where I'm going to look it up and tell you what it says on mine. But where it tells me what exactly kind of phone do I have. Now, I just know that my phone is a Galaxy S9. And I would say that once you look up this information, you should try to retain it because that will make your life easier. But I'm just gonna, let me see what.
I got it real quick.
Yes, Art.
In general,
It's in general.
yeah.
Settings,
Okay.
general, about, the very first item.
So on mine, I have I have general management and then I have an about phone.
Yeah, the about is where.
But it's about.
Settings about.
In your settings, and it will tell you what type of device you're working on. Now that's on your phone or your computer.
Okay.
Remember what I said last week, settings is your best friend of everything that you're trying to do on your device or even through your browser, because that's how you get more options. It's almost always you're going to find it in settings.
Thank you both. You're both geniuses in my book. Thank you. I did find it on my phone. Thank you. Thank you.
And yes,
Yay.
there's a lot of difference, especially iPhone, because they change, they take away ports, they change functions, and between the different models, there's quite a bit of variation. So yeah, when you do that little trick of how do I blank on my blank, you need to know which model you're trying to find out for, because otherwise you're not going to get the accurate information that you want. What kind of phone do you have?
Who, me?
Well, no, Ms. Rothman was.
Yeah.
It's old because I'm old school and I'm out of memory. That's another story. but to me, it's like 4 or 5 years old, which my son would say is ancient. To me, keep it for 20 years, but it's a iPhone 6S.
Okay.
And I think they're up. I know it's considered ancient.
It's a good phone. Good phone.
I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah.
But when you go to the about, it gives you a lot of information, like how much memory capacity, how much is available, how many songs you have, how many photos you have, how many applications you have. It's an interesting thing to note, really. It's great information.
I see that now, and thank you. I will actually spend some time on it. Thank you very much. Very useful.
Yeah, it is.
I feel like, I got this S9 in 2018, and they're out now. They're up to like an S20 for Galaxies. That's the newest one. So, it's 3 years old, and I feel like I paid almost $1,000 for this phone. Like, I need it to last longer than 3 years. But so I feel you. Yeah, it's like, I don't know about 20 years, but I definitely want to try to get like at least 5 years out of before I pony up again. But yeah. But Al, were you able to find anything?
I found a bunch of stuff, but everything I tried is not working.
Okay. Well, I just got a message in the chat that someone just emailed me, my supervisor actually from iConnect just emailed me an article, and I will forward that to you.
Oh,
that has steps to follow to remove that Cortana notification.
oh, great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank your boss.
She's right on here. Go ahead and.
You are welcome.
She said, Denitra saves the day.
Rebecca?
Yes, sir.
One of the interesting things about iPhones, when you look at the ads on TV for iPhones, they never talk about the phone part, about the phone. All they talk about now is the camera features.
Right.
It's almost like these manufacturers are selling cameras and you get a phone along with the camera, where it used to be they sold phones and you got a camera along with the phone.
Well,
Crazy.
if you think about so much of the different apps that we use on our phone have some kind of feature that's related to that camera aspect.
Yeah.
If it's reading a QR code, or if it's going on to some different type of social media that you're, posting pictures or sharing with friends. So much of it is around that feature. Even taking a picture of notes that you want to remember, or a sign, or the cover of a book, or whatever it is. And I feel like that's such an integral piece of
It is, but cameras that were made 5 years ago will still do the same thing. The new ones, they'll do panoramic pictures, and they'll do all kinds of fancy photographic. You can do movies with them. That's what they're selling now. It's not the phone. I mean, you're right about that. It's terrific what you can do with the camera. In fact, Channel 3 News the other day had a little code they put on the TV. You took a picture of it. It took you to a link where you could
You are.
call in for appointment for getting your vaccine right off the TV. It's great. But what they're out to make money, and they make these cameras at practically no cost, and they just charge $1,000 for something that it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's not cheap, that's for sure. I will say that I've seen that the resolution is another feature on the newer cameras that is improved. It's not just like the panoramic, the quality of the picture itself, the ability to zoom has improved on the newer models. So there are, you know, depending on how much you're using that camera and what you're using it for, you may appreciate these advances, but I hear you, it feels a little gimmicky.
You know, the resolution on the face of the phone is really sharp. Try blowing it up a little bit. It's not so sharp.
Not as good. You're right.
Great session today, I thought.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad. Thank you. We're closing in on our time. Just if anyone else has a question, I want to get you in before we wrap up.
I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Are all the links to the presentations, do you do that the day before, or are they all on, I'm sorry, what website did Carolyn mention earlier?
I sent out an email this morning with a link to the slides presentation from today. And you know what,
Right.
I'm really glad, Ms. Janetta, that you're bringing that up, because I wanted to ask people, was there an interest in having those a little bit beforehand if people wanted to print them up or for whatever reason, because I can send them before the day of if that's desired.
I'd like to get in it today. That was fine. I just didn't know if I would be able to see the one from last week. That's all.
Did you come to PC Laptop last week? Did you just?
No, I missed last week, but that's okay. If it's, I didn't know if they were stored, if it was stored somewhere. I thought Carolyn mentioned something.
We're posting up the videos from these sessions, but
Okay.
I don't know that the slides presentations themselves are posted somewhere aside from like the link sending out. And I can certainly send you the link from last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Either one is fine. I just couldn't remember. Thank you.
Last week, you're welcome. Last week, I sent out the link after our session. It was kind of one of those, oh yeah, I was supposed to send out that link. So it happened after the session instead of before. I apologize, but I think I just sent it to the people that came, but I'll send it to you.
All right, this is Mel. Can you send me the link also? I missed last week as well.
Okay, will
Thank you
do.
so much. Mhm.
Anyone else? Did I hear someone?
I was going to mention I have a hybrid laptop. I don't know if there's something I should know about using the hybrid. So it converts into an iPad almost. I don't know if I can get the apps on it to do art and stuff. I have a Lenovo Yoga, which converts from a keyboard to a touchscreen.
I see Carolyn nodding her head. Do you
I
have
guess I'm
some
talking.
expertise on this particular device, Carolyn? If so, I would defer to you.
Yeah, I had a Lenovo Yoga a couple years back, but mine did not detach, and I think that is
Doesn't
like one of the
detach.
coolest things I've ever seen. So you have a great device. I don't know that you so much need apps on the Lenovo, because I think it operates just like it would as a PC. It's just a cool feature that you can detach and have the tablet part.
It doesn't detach, you just bend it, and so it's sitting on the, right now I'm using it. It just, the keyboard sitting as the base.
Oh, okay.
It
Gotcha.
doesn't detach.
I think Lenovo does make a detachable one.
Yeah, I did. This is my first laptop. I wasn't going to
Okay.
spend that much money to.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I had a Lenovo Yoga a few years back, and unfortunately my water bottle leaked onto it and it wasn't salvageable. And I was really upset,
Chocolate
but I
on
really
mine.
liked it. So yeah, I think it's just like any other PC.
I also wanted to mention the woman who has the 6S phone. I have a 6S and I bought a new phone. So I have two phones. And I bought the SE, which is comparable to the 6S. It's a delight to use. There was no learning curve to it. And I bought it at Target, so it was $150 less.
Ooh.
It was $250 instead of $400. It's called an SE, and it's similar to the 6S. Just thought I'd pass that on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, this is Mel. I have a question.
Yes.
What would be the best laptop to buy?
You know, I think everyone that you ask that question to will have a slightly different answer, and
Yep.
people like their devices for different reasons. I know that people who are visual artists like Apple products. There's a lot of software that you can get to, like for drawing, that works like sort of intuitively with the Mac products. I have a Chromebook as my personal device. I love my Chromebook. It's small and lightweight, and I can pretty much do everything on it. Chromebook is set up to look like a laptop, but it's a little bit closer to a tablet in some of its functioning. It operates off of apps the way that your phone and your tablet does, but it looks like a laptop. And then, you know, other people will swear by different devices for different reasons. Is there, I would say a newer model, if you're getting ready to buy, is probably a good idea so that you can have the longest life off of it, as far as, you know, interfacing with the new things that come out. Thinking about how much storage it has, I would look at something that has probably at least like 100 gigs would give you a good long life of storage out of your device. Is there a particular sort of activity or thing that you think you might be using it a lot for?
Well, I do a lot of art and drawing, so I know I'm gonna need a lot of gigs. It's probably the biggest they got because I use them up.
Okay, so that's two things that you want to look for: a device that has like good drawing software and or other art forms, and one that has a lot of storage. So those are two important pieces of information of where you want to start from. I would think that you should look at Mac products,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
and then do you want something, so you said specifically laptop, right?
Yeah. Well, I mentioned laptop, but something that's other than your tablet or your phone.
Yeah.
But somebody did mention Chrome at one point. They said Chrome was good, but there's so many of them. Which one is the top quality? Which one would you use?
Yeah. I have I just got a new Chromebook. I got an Asus Chromebook. And you know, another really good place to try to find out this information from is Consumer Reports, or you can do like a sort of Google search, top 10 laptops of 2021, and you'll find a bunch of different articles, and they'll have different little blurbs about each machine and what it's good for, what it's sort of known for, and you can, you know, make your decision on that based on how each description fits in with what you're trying to do. But
Okay.
yeah, I would definitely read up online, like best laptop for drawing, something like that, and read reviews.
Yeah. Now, where did you get yours from? Where did you purchase it from?
Amazon.com.
Okay.
Smile.amazon.com.
Okay.
Yay.
All right.
Rebecca,
That's very helpful.
Rebecca,
Welcome. Yes, ma'am.
I just bought my laptop about 4 to 6 months ago, and I had a very positive experience at Best Buy, not
Good.
Micro Center. Best Buy really went out of their way to educate me. And actually, one of the geeks waited on me in the beginning that repair, and he said Lenovo had the lowest repair rate of any of the computers. That's why I bought the Lenovo Yoga, because they didn't need a lot of repair.
Good information. That is definitely a pro tip. Talk to an insider to get some inside advice, right? And the people who work at a place like that are going to know the ins and outs of the different
That's
machines.
lucky.
Really good advice.
I,
Best
I, I
Buy.
really have had good experiences at Best Buy
Me too.
with people coming and really not trying to get the sale, but to educate you.
Good stuff.
Very
Ms.
good.
Rothman?
I've had good luck with the Micro Center. I think that's what it's called. It's at Eastgate over on Som Center. I've gotten my Chromebook there. I got one of my, just a couple other kind of, to me, tech accessories. I don't, things like that where I would need some kind of guidance without a lot of pressure or salesmanship. And so I think they're also good. And the nice thing is those two places are super close to each other. So you could probably comparison shop and get a couple different points of view. But yeah, so I would also say they're a good place from my experience.
Thank
I
you.
was just
Carolyn.
in second Karen's comments that I think Micro Center, if you go in saying this is what I want the device to do, this is my budget, what do you have? The whole store is full of tech stuff. So they have Apple products, they have Microsoft products, and they should be able to give you different suggestions based on your budget and what you want to do. Best Buy sounds like same sort of thing. The geeks know their stuff and they'll give you suggestions. The other thing I wanted to mention, if anyone is shopping on Amazon, if you haven't already, Community Partnership on Aging has an Amazon Smiles account. So if you haven't already selected a charity of your choice, we would love if you chose us. I think we get 0.05% of any eligible purchases back, but it really does add up. So
It adds
just
up.
thought I would throw that in there.
Good plug. Thank you. Listen, we are at 3:04. I want to respect people's time. If people have any further questions and they want to stay on, I will stay on. But I want to make sure too that people remember next week we will be doing some practice with the Gmail account. If you do not have a Gmail account, we need to get you set up with one. If you're having trouble doing that on your own, I can help you. Just let me know. Okay. Want to stay on now and we could try to look at it, or if we need a further one-on-one, but you're going to need that Gmail for next week if you don't already have one. But other than that, I think you're free to go. I hope
Thank you.
something. Thank you for coming. I hope
Thank
this
you.
was helpful.
Thank you.
Okay,
You're
thank you so
welcome.
much.
Thank you.
Is
Good night.
Carol still on?
See you tomorrow.
Sounds good.